Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and this is
Autumn Garibay.
and this is
Logan Garibay.
and this is
Tally Garibay.
and today we're going to talk about what coronavirus has brought that is good. All right, so first I want to frame this and help you to understand why we're choosing to talk about this today. So one, I recently realized, I didn't even know this before, but if you talk about COVID-19 on your channel, you get demonetized. Well, it's good to be small. I'm making money on YouTube anyway, so I can talk freely. Not a threat for Scott Garibay, which is great. So we can talk openly and honestly about what's really affecting our nation. So that's a blessing. By the way, I'm a huge fan of YouTube. I'm incredibly thankful for everything they do and for allowing me to have this channel. Their tech is amazing, and I'm very thankful. The reason I'm saying that is I know that you will probably listen to a few people who are whining about YouTube, even as they're on YouTube. All right, so what we want to talk about today is each one of us are going to bring 3 things that we think got better because of COVID-19. Okay, the reason we're going to do this is you are a political wonk. You are a person who pays attention to politics, and I know for a fact that makes your life more stressful. There's no two ways about it. People will. It is a age-old thing to not talk about politics in open society, at a dinner party. It's considered rude by some people, right? And the reason why is we pay a price for wanting to be politically informed and be engaged in the American political process. The American political process is complicated, opaque, and frustrating, right? But it's important, and I know you know that because you listen to me, right? And I know that COVID-19 has made everyone's lives much, much harder, much more difficult. And we want to share what it's made better for our family to give you some hope and some encouragement and some joy, hopefully. And to remind you that there are probably things that got better in your life because of COVID-19 too. Before we say a word, I want to say we fully understand that COVID-19 is taking lives in America. Last count I heard was over 4K. It has officially passed 9/11. To all those of you who are suffering with COVID-19, our prayers are with you. Our condolences on what's occurring. We are talking about COVID-19 at the macro level, and we are talking about it from a political perspective. But more than anything today, this is simply an attempt to give some comfort and some solace to you because you deserve it for taking the time and everything that's necessary to actually remain engaged in politics. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and jump right in. We're each going to give you 3 things that we think have gotten better because of COVID-19. Autumn, you want to start?
Sure. So, those were really great disclaimers. I'd like to add, of course, many things are terrible, but 3 things I thought of that have gotten a lot better for me were just my hobbies broadly, and in 2 parts I've noticed, both in non-technical things like Rubik's Cubes and like playing Frisbee with these guys, and just a lot of fun things away from a screen that I might not have had the time to do before quarantine. However, I've also had a lot of time to explore and on-screen hobbies. I am in year 2 of Stardew Valley. I'm on season 2 of Ozark. And just video games and shows have been a lot of fun to partake in. So, and while I know I'm talking a lot about my hobbies, there's temptation to think I'm slacking off, but I also am working remotely. I have a job as a classroom assistant at a college, and part of that entails tutoring college students, and I'm currently doing that remotely. And believe it or not, that aspect of my life has improved. I've been able to still help students, and almost more efficiently, I've found in this tech virtual format. Their schedules are more open, so I can see more people. With the tech, I can illustrate some things clearer, and that has been a particularly a definite blessing, and I found a unique blessing because I think a lot of jobs have gotten harder, and a lot of facets of, I think all jobs, even mine, have gotten harder. But I think particularly my tutoring hours in my work from home, remote work, has gotten better.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'll go next. So 3 for me. First, and these aren't in order of priority. I'm just going to list them. So board games and tabletop role-playing games. They're incredibly important to me. Tabletop role-playing games, Dungeons & Dragons is the flagship. Most people know that. There's well over 1,000 incredibly good tabletop role-playing games. There are 1,000 good ones. There's like 10,000 tabletop role-playing games. Most people don't know that. But it's absolutely true. And board games. So these two hobbies, actually, I don't really actually think tabletop role-playing games are a hobby. I actually think they're a discipline. They were created by Gary Gygax in 1974, and it's truly an American element. So tabletop role-playing games are a vector for art, a vector for literature, and a vector for gaming, and they're far more important than most people realize. I think I put Dungeons & Dragons at the level of Coca-Cola, baseball, jazz, comic books. It's bigger than you think it is, and is incredibly important. And also, especially for Dungeons and Dragons, a lot of people, it helps with mental health because you have so much freedom in those games. They can be a really powerful mental health aid. They don't replace medicine or psychology, but they can be those games can be incredibly significant to many people. Board games are huge right now. They were growing before COVID-19. They are the perfect COVID-19 hobby, and board games I do consider a hobby. And they weren't invented in America, so they're not as special as tabletop role-playing games. But board games are incredibly important to me, and we have a ton, and we have really been enjoying them. And one of the things that COVID-19 has let us do is enjoy games. I literally own 5 to 10 games I haven't even opened. And this has given us more time to play the great stuff we have. And I know this is happening at a national level, and people are returning to board games. I'm very excited about that. In addition to that, solitude. Solitude is a spiritual discipline. I'm an evangelical Christian. There are specific spiritual disciplines that are called out in the Word. Solitude is one of them. Prayer is another one. Obedience is another one. There's all kinds of spiritual disciplines that we're called to. Hospitality, tithing, all kinds of, generosity is a spiritual discipline, right? And these are incredibly important. Well, I am terrible at prayer and solitude. I really want to get better at these two. COVID-19 is not helping me with prayer. Pray for me that I get better at prayer. I do pray, but not nearly as much as I should. And it's always been a spiritual discipline that I struggle with. I don't do it as diligently as I read the Word, but solitude has been amazing for COVID-19. You can go outside, and there's nobody there. It's just you and God and nature, and it's fantastic. And I love that about that. And COVID-19 has brought this situation forward and made it better. So practicing the spiritual discipline of solitude is much easier in a COVID-19 world. The last one is new heroes. I'm so excited about new heroes. I give respect to police officers, I give respect to soldiers, and I give respect to fire people. But frankly, everybody does every day, right? COVID-19 has brought forward new heroes who are equal to those groups. Nurses, truck drivers, and frankly, this is a crazy one, the trash people who pick up our trash. People picked up our trash the other day. That I am so thankful for that, and in these times, that is as courageous as running into a burning building. And if anybody wants to come at me in the comments on that, please do. These are new heroes, and I am so glad that the country is starting to give them their due. That's my 3.
My 3. My first one is school. For me and my sisters has been a lot lighter. Well, for me it has been. For me, it has been, but yeah. So it might take a little bit longer, but usually it's a lot lighter, and I get to have more free time, which I spend my free time. Sometimes it's my second point. I get to play a lot more video games or like activities that I like. So I've been playing some recent video games. I've been playing some Titanfall 2 I've been playing a little bit of Minecraft. And then I've been playing, my major one has been Persona 5, and I've been really liking it. And my third is that I get to go outside a lot more. Like when I, like previously, I would get home, I'd do all my homework and stuff, and then it'd be like nighttime. So I couldn't really like go outside or whatever. So I would just stay in the house and kind of do nothing. But now I can go outside, do whatever I want, practice baseball, soccer, all that. So, yeah.
I want to take just a quick moment and explain that I'm not the biggest fan of video games, but one thing I really do appreciate about Persona 5 particularly, and in some of the other video games that my kids play, is there is another Garibay child that you've never seen. He's older than all three of these. And Persona 5 is a game that he played through and loved it so much he played almost every other game in the series. And that is now a shared language between Logan and his brother. And that's special. That goes beyond video games, and it shoves back my old grump video games bad. But I don't limit video games for my kids, and I do understand that they are a really powerful vector for many people. And I'm really glad that him and his brother are bonded in this way and have that shared language. It's really nice. Tala.
Yeah, okay, so, let's see which ones you guys didn't, say already. But for me, one of the things, I was even reading an article, and it was talking about how to, deal with this time of working at home and how to effectively work at home. And one of the things it talked about is streaming and doing other things of entertaining other than streaming. And I think since I have had more free time, throughout my day, and I can go out whenever I want, and I've been able to do a lot more things, such as one of the main things I've been able to do recently is I've been able to cook. I normally can't do that.
Indeed.
Because I cooked a whole big meal for all of our whole family. That took about 2 hours, and I wouldn't have time if I was going through my regular schedule for school. So that's been really nice.
You can add that to my list too. She's a fantastic cook.
The roasted potatoes were the best.
Yeah.
Garlic, it was fantastic.
What else, Tyler?
Yeah. Also, I've been able to pick up a few books again, and particularly I've been reading one called Thunderhead, which is amazing, and I've read it's in a trilogy, and I hope to be able to finish that trilogy soon.
That's from the Scythe trilogy, I believe. It's really fantastic. Arc of the Scythe. We highly recommend it. Fantastic book series. Absolutely.
Yeah, and another way I'm spending my non-streaming time is painting. I've been able to do a good amount of paintings. One painting, and hopefully it'll be done. It should be able to go up here, and even my painting class, I've just been a bit more. I had more time to do those assignments.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Those were. Go right ahead.
Actually, sorry, I was trying to sign. Logan, did you have a third point?
Yeah, first was my school.
Mm-hmm.
Second was
video games.
Third was outside.
Outside. I'm so sorry, and I apologize if I seem distracted. I was trying to think of all the things we loved about. It's strange to say things we love about this COVID-19 era, but that is what this was. So would you like to take us out with that?
Absolutely. So one, I want to thank each one of you for coming up with 3 things that COVID-19 made better. It wasn't hard for me. I had to take things off my list. I have a much longer list than we were even able to share. I would really like to invite each and every one of you to think about your own life. And I know it is stressful following politics, and we are now having more stress than ever because of COVID-19. So we really wanted to share with you, there are some things in life that are better because of COVID-19. We want to encourage you to think about your own life and just take a moment and be thankful for the things that are that COVID-19 has made better in your life, because I'm betting there are a few. Also, please, if you're willing, share with us below what you think has been made better in COVID-19 in your life. That would be a real honor for each and every one of us. And the last thing I want to say is this world is split into Muggles and Wizards. If you're listening to this channel, you are a wizard. You are not a Muggle. Let's leave the complaining about this situation to the Muggles. Let's be the wizards, and let's think about what's better in this situation, and even more importantly, how we can make the world better in this time. Thank you very much for letting us share this with you. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.